What the chuck is, everybody? Gender here, back at it with another Ctene Boss Mule showcase. This time, I'm going to be showing off the Hayato. However, it is much stronger than the Kana. Well, not much stronger than the Kana, but it is stronger. So this is the current spec of the Hayato, 127mm CP with about 1.2k fraggies invested. So it's quite a bit more invested than the Kana. And with this gear, we're sitting at 51k hexa. So it's like what, 6k more, 5k more hexa than the Kana. So we need to de-gear this Hayato. So for this showcase, this is what we'll be running with. So we dropped a ring and dropped the face and eye, which brought the hexa to 46.4k, which is, hey, pretty good. It's a little lower than what the Kana did, but this is perfect for their showcase. So chilling at 100mm CP, and this is with FAMs, but the FAMs on this don't really do much. Like I got this CP or this hexa with the FAMs out. All right, let's dive into the showcase. Alrighty, we start off as always with the prep. We grab some buffs, see our big money for the upcoming Star Force. As we just get a bunch of stuff for like 2 sets of everything basically. I get a little keen by only buying one Legion coupon, but we jump into it. All right, so let's talk about Hayato. If you don't know, Hayato has been remastered, and it is currently the flavor of the month of being like the most broken character in the game because it has Giga Burst. We'll see it in the opener here to V Healer. We pop everything, Origin, into Welling Heavens, and we just absolutely nuke the boss. That's 30% gone within the first 30 seconds. It's just absolutely beautiful. I really vibe with Hayato. I've always been a fan of the class. When I came back to the game, look, this Hayato was created when Reboot was launched back in the 2016? Yeah, no, 2015. I think I have a medal from 2015, like December 2015. But I digress. Hayato got remastered in February, and I do believe it is a much better class. I was hyped for the rework ever since I got back to the game and I heard wind of it. So I was preparing this little guy. He was like a 227 little gup. I put him through Monster Park, and then here I am now enjoying the fruits of my labor and playing Hayato. Anyway, we've already gone through, we're about to burst for a second time, and you can see that all the chip damage managed to get to like 57%. I nearly fuck it up, but it's all good. I get the FD buff from the cleanse, and I boom, send it and absolutely annihilate the healer. So this is looking like a 3 burst, and so the way Hayato plays is that, yeah, everything's within your burst. At like 10-20 seconds you have to burst, you just go all out. And then it doesn't really matter what you do off burst. Yeah, sure, you can do 10% more damage of your SD kit, but honestly, it's like, whatever. If that 10% doesn't let you do less burst or clear the boss that much faster, it's like, you're not really doing much. So here I am showcasing what you can do on Hayato while you wait for cooldowns, is you just run away from the boss, do whatever. Hayato has actually a really good kit. Well, it doesn't have a class door, but it does have really good lifesteal. It has a really short cooldown iframe. I think mine's already on like a 17-second cooldown, and it gets lower when you get a CD hat. And it has infinite dashes. Like, you can just air stall with all your dashes. That's a 2 burst on the Hayato onto the healer. I didn't get an actual clear time for this. Well, it was about what? Fuck, you know what? I will do it manually. I'll use my big brain and do it manually. It was about like 4:30. We didn't get anything. However, we got the most important thing, which was that guild thing I needed for my Star Force room. And I just remembered that I didn't do the weekly, so I'm -1 of those fantastical items that I need. Anyway, Dark now, same thing. We launch up with a Origin burst, which does do a lot more damage than your standard burst, because that Origin does give you, not only does it give you a cheeky little FD buff, but it also can animation cancel, because Hayato's red skills, their big burst skills, do have a long animation. Both the Origin and this skill here, Noto, can animation cancel it. So you can get it out much faster. Yeah, Hayato has a shit ton of dashes. You can just blink across to the side of the room if you wish. Yes, you are dashing, you aren't technically teleporting, but still you do some crazy maneuvers. And here I am, better res. I'm like, wait a second. I don't need a res. I'm a Hayato. I can just AFK and chill. It's like literally you do fuck all without your burst. So Hayato's burst is comprised of Wailing Heavens. I think there's Dark Moon cut. And there's like full moon, half moon cut. I can't remember these two. Wailing Heavens is the big one. This is your juice. Technically, Ngosku, I butchered that completely. This is your big cheese. This is where all your damage is coming from. This plus, so this gives you a stack of Nodo, and then you Nodo again to get these two with Nodo. So you can see I burst twice, and I now have to wait 2 minutes for Darknell to be to die. So here I am, like just slowly, very close to the threshold of being able to burst twice out of Darknell. But you can see just how much potential there is in Hayato. Well, technically, there's already potential in the class if you can get out within 1 to 2 bursts. If you can do 2 bursts, cool. But because like every burst you do extra you got to do, it's like 2 more minutes of the boss. So here we go. I get that 3rd burst in, and that's like what that was a 5-minute flat Darknell run. I think that was that 3 bursts? Must have been 3 bursts. Yeah, of course it was, because yeah, it was 3 bursts. Alright, no. 1, 2. Yeah, it is 3 bursts. I can't count. Look, it's late. I'm tired. That's not an excuse. Alright, Gloom. Gloom is also quite easy. Just gotta wait the 1 minute tax. Gloom always has. So yeah, as I said, looking forward to when I can juice up these characters with a high level ascent. So I can just bust out of Gloom in a second instead of having to wait this 1 minute. Ugh. Because look, 1 minute over like what, 14 characters? That's 14 minutes right there of being able to do this faster. And all I've got to do is invest like 1 billion frags. Is it worth it? I don't know. All right, we send out the first huge burst. I don't delay it, even though I could delay it to keep Gloom open. There's like no point because Hayato does fuck all with no burst. So I do a cheeky little Jetty iframe here. And then Gloom opens up again, but I've got no juice left, so it's like whatever. I'll just wonk him with the auto attack, which doesn't really do that much damage. And then because it's Gloom, you get very awkward with cooldowns. It's not the clean every 2 minutes you can burst. He gets kind of desynced. So you can see that I triggered Darkness, but what burst is coming up in 13, 10 seconds, 9. And I'm like, can I get a cheeky burst in? Can I do it? So I YOLO, and I miss it completely. Oh, that was a tilter. Look, I was a little greedy and overextended myself there to try and get that burst in, because you know how sweet it'd been to kill him there, whereas I could have just waited a minute and he would have thrown his legs out, and that could be done by now. No, I now have to wait. You don't have to be greedy on Hayato, but maybe it's just me having this life split here, wanting to be as fast as possible to showcase. Look, I'm not sandbagging Hayato, okay? I am not sandbagging. It is a strong class. If you do not have a Hayato, Ctene Mule, or even a Legion Champion, make one. It is a great pick. One of the probably the single best pick you can have for Challenger World 3. Especially if your goal is to kill Kai as quick as possible. Hayato is probably the best Kai killer in the game, just hands down. If you don't know, Kai has a mechanic that reduces your cooldown reductions, so you can just do a fat amount of bursts. There we go. Gloom is dead. Took 3 bursts. Should have taken. I'm pretty sure it should have taken 2. I'm not sure if that second one would have killed. There we go. We got one of those. I think. Oh, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Didn't get one from V-Healer. Got one from Gloom, which is good because I did forget that weekly. Very upset about it. All right, now for the will tax. Commander William is the bane of Hayato's existence because we all have this burst, but then that's it. So we can instantly kill segment 1, which is fantastic. It goes on cooldown. But now we kind of have to improv segment 2. So we do have a little, like Hayato does have a little bit of a mini burst. They can do Noto's on 1 minute cooldown, and then you can use this one, the one that's on E. That's on also a 6-second cooldown. So that does some damage. I tried to do it here, but I forget to press Noto, so the thing did fuck all damage. This is where a trusty Ascent can kick in. Thankfully, you don't need Ascent for the rest of the fight on Hayato, so I just use it here to try and chip my way through segment 2. Trigger test. Failing tests on Hayato is extremely punishing. It's one of the worst classes because you do not have any DPM. Will heal up like 20%, and then you just gotta suffer through it. So highly recommend to not fail any segments. I just burst out of segment 3 and we go into phase 2. Alright, into phase 2. So yeah, once you are strong enough with Hayato, Will isn't that bad. It's more about just splitting your burst. When you can't split your burst, it's difficult. Min cutting as a Hayato on Will is pain and suffering. Alright, so I just bind him, since I know I don't really need to do much else, and then I will get an iframe so I don't need to think about the mechanics. Use the last ascent, and I'm just trying to chip him through, and I still die. Whoops, die again. I just get CC'd or comboed into the web. Pick up the Whisper Key because I'm like, what the fuck do I have these still on? Then run into an orb and die. So that was 3 quick lives spent in a second. Then I try actually playing the game using Hayato's OP dash, which is extremely responsive because I can combo with your basic attack and manage to chip him down. Good to go into test. So now I have the big nuke to go and all out. I just rip it. This time I do something interesting. I was like playing around thinking I don't need to use Wailing Heavens. I was like, fuck it. Let me just use the baby the 1 minutes and then go all out for phase 3. Yeah, this is a famous last words. So you're about to see the most misplayed phase 3 of your life. And I promise you, I am not sandbagging Hayato. So here I ult. Get knocked back and die, lose green buff, which is a huge DPS increase, use everything, and Will's still alive and I die again. Oh my god. Will is not supposed to live past this point. Like, he's supposed to be dead. I completely fucked up. And now we just both have to suffer. Oh boy, I could have saved so much time here. Like, what, the boss is out of rack. Could have been already 8-minute fight, but no, we're going. The fight continues. I keep dying, and I'm like, fuck, man, I need to lock the fuck in. I'm 3 lives left. This is not good. I use 1 minute, forget that I'm desynced with Raw. Oh my god. Like, I try to salvage it, but it just gets worse and worse and worse. But look, I am just showcasing the Hayato attacks, and this is what happens when you fail your burst. You do no damage. You need to do your burst in a set order, otherwise you're done. That's it. The class does 0 damage. Your damage comes from your buffs, not your skills. Your skills apply the damage, but all that damage is from all the buffs. So here I am. That was like 1 minute, so I did some damage. And I'm like, oh my god, this fight should have been over. This is what, 8 minutes, 30 seconds? That's far too long. This should have been done. So, at least with the iframe here, I can get a pretty consistent cancel on his white eye attack, which is annoying to jump out of, but here we go. We get the Wailing Heavens off. Wailing Heavens does iframe you. If you do it first, you can get into a nice invulnerable state, so you can just send your full burst. So that's always a nice thing. But that was a 10-minute run. God. And that's burnout fuel right there. So that could easily have been like 4 minutes faster, just out of the gate. All right, let's see if I can salvage myself with a fast Lucid run. Lucid's quite easy. Now, Lucid at a min spec can be very difficult because when it comes to phasing in phase 2, you kind of need to have damage still ready to go for phase 3. So it can get quite annoying having to burst out of phase 2 and then somehow still do damage in phase 3. But once you get enough damage, it doesn't really matter. That was a nice, fast phase 1. Burst took him down to like 1 bar, so let's go 1 minute phase. That's how it should go. Like once you get burst up, a phase of a boss is just gone. I did the 1 minute here on Lucid, and now we're just waiting for buffs to come back up. Again, you don't really need to be attacking here. It doesn't really matter. I'm just like waiting until timers are off cooldown. Yeah, you don't like blue skills are fun to use because using skills is fun, but they don't really do that much damage. But hey, any damage counts. And then we're getting to the stage where everything's up. Everything's up. I burst. Send the origin. And then I go all out just this once. And look at that. Boom. Now, I was a little too quick on closing the origin. Because you can tap it like 4 more times to trigger the origin. Or the extra attacks during origin. But if you just let it ride, that finisher on the origin can hit phase 3. Which does make phase 3 a little easier. It was a little tight there at the end there. But hey, we managed to chip out. And it's good. There we go. I was like a 3-minute hard loose run. That's more like it. A 3-minute run. Perfect. All right, so that's half the coupons done, and we've killed the first 5 bosses. I think it was kind of ahead at this point. I think it was. Look, to be fair, we did spend 4 minutes extra in Commander William. That's to be fair. Like we could have been out of slime by now. We are plus 4 minutes on this run in comparison because of that. Like terrible will run. Even Gloom could have been a little faster as well. I think Gloom could have been like a minute faster, or 2 minutes faster actually. Yeah, we're plus 6 minutes at the moment. I'll need to redo one of these, 100%. But look, I want to show the real experience. I'm not going to be playing perfect every week. Here I am doing this boss at like 9 p.m. on a Thursday night. It's like I just want to get my money. That's really it. I'm not here to be a perfect player. I just want to be able to tap this weekend. The slime, the first big ultimate attack did nearly 50% of its HP bar. Not quite, but I still do have some essence banked up. Whereas the Kana was able to nearly one test this with 2 bursts, which is kind of impressive. But then again, kind of does have an RNG play style when it comes to burst. The second burst loaded in the chamber, and here we go. Let it rip. Boom. And the HP bar just disappears. Yeah, not quite enough juice. You can see the difference in terms of damage between the origin burst and the off origin burst. And then we sent the Ascent, usually a cheeky iframe, but still not enough. There's no way we're going to deal 7%. I know, 40 seconds left. Surely we can do 8%. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. The 1 minute's coming up. Yeah, nah. This is why it's so important to be able to consistently be able to 2 burst. Now I gotta wait. Look at that, 3.5%. It's so close. There's the damage is in there. There's nothing left in the chamber. All right, so we're gonna do the test again, but this is the importance of just being, well, when you play a burst class, clear speed only improves when you can clear in 1 less burst. Here I got to do 3 bursts. If I get a little bit stronger, I can do it in 2 bursts. But even if I put all my equips back on, it's going to be a 2 burst for quite some time. But even a 2 burst is quite fast. All right, slime dead. 35 minutes on the clock. I'm thinking, can I try and match some time? I know Damien and Lotus are a little bit more slower on the Kana because it doesn't have a sense skill, so we may be able to pick up some time here. So, Damien's annoyingly a 2-phase boss, so you can't just nuke him with 1 big boy ultimate. I bring him back to the ground with a cheeky little bind. I save my origin, instantly phase him, and then just whip out the origin here, and then do my best to burst him down, and with origin plus a sense, it's just enough to kill him. And that was like a what? of 1 minute 30. A 90-second from the leaving slime to killing Damien. That's pretty damn quick. I think the Kana took like 2.5 minutes, so like it'll save some time. And I'm like, fuck you, let's even save even more time. Let's do Lucid real fast. We start off with a burst. I think I just do the 1 minutes here, which is enough to bonk Lotus into phase 2. And then I Noto into Wailing Heavens, and that just deletes phase 2. Goodbye. Then Origin, Ichigi. I think it's Dark Moon card. I think that's the 10-second, the one on down here. Origin out. Not enough with a sense, so now I have to do chip damage. Run around Lotus. I don't know mechanics yet because I haven't learned this boss. I just kill it before it kills me. But I do manage to get out of Lotus. That was like what? A minute? 2 minutes 10? Yeah. And we get nothing. Oh, we get a ring box. What's in the box? It was a HM Crisis ring. Womp womp. Alright, now it's for the baby bosses, and that's basically it. So we're just cleaning up here, and it's a little faster because we do have the Ascents. But yeah, Hayato is a burst-oriented class. It does all of its damage with its burst, and then you can just do whatever for the next minute and a half waiting for cooldowns. You can even skip your 1 minutes. So you might like just maybe be able to phase out if you use your 1 minute, but if you have to use 1 minute as well, jeez, that's a lot of work. But yeah, definitely make a Hayato if you don't. It's one of the, I think it's a lot of fun. There is a good question is like, is this class still fun with this damage profile when it's this like innately powerful? Like if this class was say 30% weaker, would it still be strong? I'm on the opinion that yes, like it's still, I think it's still very fun and flashy to play. It just doing a shit ton of damage already just gives it more, I guess, more clout, I guess. It's why people want to play the Hayato, because it just does so much damage. Also, I completely forgot, I didn't highlight this at the start, but this is a raw 2 that I'm using. So there is a huge room for improvement for this class going forward. Even if this is just a 46k Hexa showcase. But yeah, highly recommend making one of these things. Same with Kana. These things are just way too juiced for what they have. And a burst playstyle I think is a lot of fun because you get to see that HP bar just disappear, which is just so much fun. We'll cap it in to be, I think we're like 3-4 minutes slower than the Kana, but we did have like a +6 added to the time. So this should have been done in 38 minutes. There should have been a 38-minute clear, so it should have been faster than the Kana. And then if we could have 2 bursted slime, it could have even been maybe a 35-minute. So yeah, this character definitely does everything within 30 minutes when it has all its gear on. So because a 2 bursts basically everything. That's time at 44 minutes and 4 seconds. That's been Hayato. If you have any more questions about this class, let me know. But yes, that does it for this showcase on Hayato. As always, thank you for watching, and of course, have a good day. Catch you all in the next one.